Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with atbbq.com, and this is cinnamon roll bread pudding. But typically on these big holiday weekends, I end up having brunch or breakfast with the extended family at least once. And if you're doing these potluck style, it's a great idea to bring something that not only can feed, but will also please a crowd full of people. So today I'm bringing you a brunch recipe from the sweeter side. Certainly going to impress the cinnamon roll lover in your life. We're doing cinnamon roll bread pudding. So taking all that goodness of the cinnamon roll, combining it with custard, baking it in a skillet, and then we're gonna smother it with an orange icing. So let's start by breaking down these cinnamon rolls. So you can use any cinnamon roll you have laying around. I have these mini cinnamon rolls that I picked up. One thing that is a good idea is when you go to break these down into smaller pieces, it's nice if they're like a couple days old, a little bit stale even, because they're gonna hold their structure and integrity better as they're baked into this bread pudding. And to help with that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna spread out about 8 cups of diced cinnamon rolls onto a sheet pan lined with parchment, and we're gonna bake this only for about 20 minutes just to kind of dry it out a bit. So let's take our cinnamon roll pieces. Oh, I missed a couple, here we go. And we're gonna head over to the grill. And today we're cooking on the Yoder Smokers YS640s pellet grill. We're running at 350 degrees with hickory pellets. And we're set up for full indirect grilling, so diffuser's in, our baffle is pushed about 6 inches in just to help with the airflow. But this is probably the most plain Jane setup that you can do on the grill. It's great for baking. So let's just throw this up top and set a timer for 20 minutes. So in the meantime, we're gonna put together the custard. And I'm gonna need for this 4 egg yolks and 4 whole eggs. So I'm gonna separate out these whites to be used for another purpose. And we're going to combine our whole eggs and egg yolks with 1 quart of half and half. And this right here is your base of your custard. You got your milk and your eggs. From here, we need to start adding some flavors. So we're going to start with a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. I'm going to add to that a 1/2 teaspoon of Jacobsen kosher sea salt, 1/2 teaspoon of orange extract. You're going to see orange in a few different ways today. And then finally, we're going to take the zest off of 1 orange and add it into our custard as well. We're going to blitz all of this up with the immersion blender. All right, so custard is good to go. Let's work on our just couple of internal garnish here. Now when we say internal garnish, what I mean is the things that are going to go inside the bread pudding. So in that case, we've got a cup of praline candied pecans that are going to get crushed up, and then kind of an interesting choice here. This is crystallized ginger. So ginger we associate with a lot of different cuisines, but one of the things you always see ginger in is our holiday recipes with ginger and clove and all those spices. So kind of a fun one to throw in there. We're gonna mince this down pretty fine. That way you never get one big bite that kind of is off-putting. And we'll do about 2 tablespoons total. Sticky, bright, aromatic. A really good way to add some that little extra, like, man, what is that in there? It sticks out, but it blends in at the same time. And then easier than breaking these down with a knife is breaking them down with a rolling pin. Don't want them turned into dust. They should still have some texture. That's a large part of their purpose in this dish. But of course we don't want whole pecans either, or pecan halves I should say. So getting ready to put all this together now, I'm just gonna hit our cast iron with a little bit of unsalted butter. Help kind of fry the edges of our bread pudding. We've got our toasted cinnamon rolls that have been cooled down now. You can hear the texture on them. They got a little bit of crunch to them now, which is that that extra structure that we were looking for so that they don't just disintegrate with the custard. So throwing that into our 12-inch skillet. Let's go ahead and add in our internal garnishes as well. Got your pecans, you got your candied ginger, and then we're gonna pour the custard right over the top. Now this you can actually let sit here and soak up for a while. I mean, a couple of hours if you like. Let that start to soak into the cinnamon rolls. But if you're in a hurry, you can throw it right in the grill right now and just let that soak in as it cooks. So right back on the second shelf here, still at 350 degrees inside. We're gonna let that go for the next 45 to 60 minutes. Bread pudding's been on for about 45 minutes now. Should be coming off in the next 15 or so. So we're gonna put together now our icing to go on top of the bread pudding. We're essentially making an orange flat icing today. We're gonna start with 2 cups of powdered sugar. We're gonna add the zest of 1 orange, and then we're gonna use the orange juice, fresh squeezed out of here, to thin out our icing to the desired consistency. So we won't add all of it at first, but just enough to get us started. Then we can add more as we need it. Measured this in the past, typically ends up being about 4 to 6 tablespoons of orange juice to get to the right consistency. Of course, the right consistency is totally up to you as well. This is a little bit thick. Could probably thin it just a little bit. It just depends on if you want more coverage or if you want a little heavier icing. Well, we're about an hour in now, and you can see we've still got just a little bit of jiggle in the middle, but we've got great browning set all the way to the edges, so we're ready to pull this off. I'm gonna drizzle this icing on while this is hot, fresh off the grill, so it can kind of melt and settle into all these little nooks and crannies. And then we'll give this just a little bit of time to set up and settle. It's entirely too hot to eat right now anyway. Let's dig in and get a taste. Woo! That is like cinnamon roll custard city. I mean, it is so like full. The way that custard is just soaked into the bread. It's got just the right amount of squish down at the bottom where it's absorbed everything, but up top keeps the texture alive. A little bit of that browning, a little bit of that crunch. And then you bite into your candied pecans, so you're not just getting mush all the way through. And it takes me right back to when I was a kid and my mom would get us those cans of the cinnamon rolls with the orange icing on top. But this is another level for sure. And if you can turn it into a custard and call it brunch, why not? Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out atbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to atbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.